Yeah, so we got a little problem. I got back, saw some smoke coming out of my hood, popped the hood, and my alternator was smoking. 4 laps around the neighborhood, maybe 2 miles. After the first lap, I started smelling something. It's an unusual smell. It smelled like a little bit like electrical and a little bit like plastic. It really smells up here in front of the engine. This thing, the smoke was just coming right up. It was almost like steam. So I was getting ready to double check my timing, reset my TPS, do a base idle reset, get this thing dialed 100%. It has a little bit of a problem starting when it's cold. So I think one of my adjustments are off a little bit. So I just want to go back and double check that. But now we got even bigger issues going on. Looking like I'm gonna need a new alternator. I also got my overflow reservoir today. Now what is awesome is I have 0 leaks on this car. Only thing that leaked when I first started it up was the power steering lines. I got all new lines in there. I just had to tighten it a little more. You guys know those Teflon little O-rings. That's the only thing that seals that. In my opinion, they should have put AN fittings from the factory and those things. It's just automotive connections are just super weird. But there is always something that pops up after that first test drive. And I'm glad I did not take it any further and just went around the block. Even though if you take your time, really take your time, and you know everything's dialed, something always happens. Now I wonder if the alternator was even charging to begin with. Let's put a charger on it, get it fired up, and see what happens. It's charging. I'm gonna set you guys up here up front so you'd be the first ones to see it if it starts smoking. Yeah, let's go check the voltage. Yeah, definitely not looking good for the alternator. Oh yeah, that thing's done. You can even hear the idle change. We should probably be seeing at least 13.5 at idle. Probably closer to 14 be ideal, but this alternator is junk. All right, so I just have this glove here because I'm checking my fuel pressure. I want to get that set when I do my base idle reset and everything. So I just left this on here, and I'm just using a glove to protect it because it's a little too close to the power wire. Damn, look at that timing. Alternator showing up right now. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, that looks the same to me. I think I'm gonna keep the pulley on there. I was gonna change it. This is a nice new pulley, but I think that one will look better, at least until it rusts. Oh yeah, look at that. Come on. Oh, there is a difference. That hole is threaded on the top side. And if we come to this one, it's not threaded. So I'm gonna have to run a bolt and a nut. And I don't think this bolt's long enough. Barely. All right, I found this. Just a quarter longer. Nice stainless nut. Speaking of stainless bolts, I make a whole accessory kit, stainless bolt accessory kit for the front. A lot of times when you're restoring your engine and you wire wheel all the factory bolts, you're pretty much taking off the black oxide or zinc coating that's on the bolts. So, you know, a couple weeks later, you'll notice that all your bolts that you cleaned up are getting rusty on the heads. So if you want to replace them all with stainless and call it one and done, I'll leave the link below. All we got to do now is hook up the battery, hook up my meter, and we can start this thing. All right, I'm gonna set you guys up out back here. Want to get one little shot. The lighting's pretty nice right now before we wrap this up. Alternator is fixed. This thing's running good, running strong. Being that this was the first foxbody I bought down here in Florida, it was a learning experience. There's not many clean ones around here that you can find. You really got to look, and this one was pretty solid other than doing that floor pan. That really threw a curveball in the whole build, but it's all done now, so don't gotta worry about it. Although this thing's not shiny, painted, it's ready for someone else to enjoy it and take it to the next level. And this is what I like doing, guys. I like buying these cars, you know, somebody's unfinished project, somebody that's given up on them, bringing them back to life and putting them back on the road. In between doing transmissions, fixing other people's fox bodies, I always like to keep a project on the side that I can work on, and you know, it's just what I enjoy doing. Some call it the car bug, I call it a disease, but I'm really just trying to build some cool Mustangs, learn from my experiences, do something different, do something better than the last build, and provide some cool content for you guys to see. And I got plenty of ideas going on in my head. Believe me, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you want to see. From here on out, probably until spring, summer, I'm going to be putting all my attention to my coupe that I have here So stay tuned for some videos on that. It's been a long time coming. Should have been done with it by now, but life gets in the way. Y'all understand how that happens. Well guys, that's gonna do it for this one.